welcome to another video on this channel. And today is a little different, it's a little special to me because this week happens to be my birth week. So last year I did a photo shoot for the very first time for my birthday, and it was very self-made. I got a cloth backdrop and had a remote to control the camera, and I just basically took the pictures myself, had balloons and everything. And this year I decided to do something a little different. I will be creating the backdrop from scratch. Let's do this. Remember to like, comment, share this video with as many people as you can, and let me know if this is something that you would do for yourself or you would want it done for you. But anyway, let's get into it. So for this DIY, I got some envelopes, some brown manila envelopes, and ideally I would have wanted it to be brown paper, but the store that I went to didn't have okay, they had brown paper, but they were charging too much, so I decided to get a little more creative, you know, have more for a reasonable price. Anyway, so brown paper envelopes, and then some crepe paper in different colors. Of course, we need to have some stationery with us, mainly an eraser, ruler, pencil, some glue stick, some liquid glue, and some tape. And then what I like to do is also have a board, just any regular board, for gluing stuff on, because I don't like to get things messy, other than, you know, this, it kind of keeps other things around the area neat. So yeah, this is my stationery, and we're ready to do this. Okay. So first things first, we need to prep the envelopes, and what I did is basically cut along all the seams of the envelope in order to get 2 equal halves. Just get rid of the closing tab because we won't need it. And once you have your 2 halves, make sure that you clean up any messy edges and you're good to go. So now that I have 2 of them, I'm going to put one to the side, and we're going to... So the first leaf we're creating is a scallop, and I basically take the paper that we cut and fold it in half horizontally, then clean the edges and start drawing the shape, which is ideally a straight line and a curve, as you can see. Cut it out and trim the edges, open it up, and then you have sort of graph. So what I'm doing now is folding it, and this is a fold that we'll use throughout this project. It's an accordion fold. Try to make it as straight as possible, because that makes putting it together, gluing it together, a lot easier. So when one side is done, flip it over and just continue folding it the same way until the whole piece of paper is, you know, folded in accordion fashion. So once the fold is done, just snip it in the middle and glue one side to the other, and you have the basics of the leaf. So what I did is cut some excess paper and I glued it to the end of the leaf I created just to have a base, and then stretch it out. And I made more. So for the next leaf, I basically cut all the seams except one on the envelope so that I have a larger piece of paper to use. So the leaf we're creating now is a large scallop, and I basically drew the shape as I wanted it to look and then cut it out. So because I'm going to need this shape for several other leaves, I basically used what I just cut out as template and traced around it to get more of the same shape. And then I put that to the side. So open up the shape we just created and start folding using the accordion fold again. Notice that this time, instead of doing it from top to bottom, we're doing it from side to side. And that will give you the large scallop shape, as you'll see. Once that's done, I got scrap paper again that I'm going to glue to the base just to make sure that it doesn't move out of order. And then I fluffed it out. So next we have the large palm leaf, and much like the large scallop, we're doing the same accordion fold on the same size of paper with the same shape. So once you're done with the accordion fold and you're done gluing the base, this time we're going to take it from one end and start cutting with the pointed edges facing you. We're going to use curved cuts, so deep from one side and then shallow from the other. And you'll notice that a palm leaf, well, it's, what should I call it? The depth that happens between each section of the leaf gets shallower as you go towards the center of the leaf. So just keep that in mind as you're cutting. And then once that's done, just clean up all the edges until you're satisfied. And we are then going to turn it over and use the same technique to create the final look of this palm leaf. The next leaf is the fan palm, and the shape is definitely very different. And it's just the same thing. You fold it using the accordion fold. Make sure it's clean. After the fold is done, we're basically going to unfold it and fold it back into the original half. And using the clear ridges, that is the middle line, we're going to cut the edges of the leaf. I don't know how best to describe it. Let me know how you would describe this. So we're just cutting one part, following the middle lines, and then cutting the other. So we do this until we reach the top. And once we finished our cuts, we fold it back into the accordion and glue one part of it to the other. Clean it up. And there you have your folded fan palm. Next, we're going to create a long leaf. Basically, the shape for this is sort of an arc. Not really a semicircle, an arc, yeah. So just draw it out and cut it. And yep, you guessed it, we're going to do an accordion fold, but this one is slightly different from the others. The difference here is that we're doing the accordion fold at 45-degree angles, using the edge as the guide. You could use the straight side as the guide. Just make sure it's as neat as possible. So once that's done, you can unfold it and see the little veins that you just created. You have your little leaf. You could always close it back up and trim it as necessary, as you find necessary. And once you're happy with it, you have your long leaf. Next, I made some orange scallops using the same exact technique. I just glued some orange crepe paper on top of it to add some color to this design. Once that's completed, you guessed it, we do the accordion fold and glue the two pieces together. Bam! Next, we'll be creating a flower using the gold paper. And what I did is basically measure out what would be 3 pieces of A4 size paper, folded that accordingly and cut out those pieces. Then fold that in half vertically so that you'll end up with 6 pieces of crepe paper. So now that you have the 6, I just prepared some rope. Ideally, you'd want to use yarn, but I didn't have yarn, so I got the rope ready and did an accordion fold on the crepe paper. And once that's done, we're going to use the rope or the yarn, whichever you choose to use, and tie the piece securely in the center of the piece. Once it's secure, we can start fluffing out the flower to create a really nice rippled petal look. Now there's another way you can go about this. You could, at this stage before folding, you could cut each side so that your petals have a little more of an interesting edge than it being straight. But I didn't mind because I wanted 2 different versions. So once we're done fluffing, I just got a piece of crepe paper, folded it randomly and used it as a center to hide the rope, just to create, the center of the flower. And this flower is going to go on top of the fan palm, like that. So I'm done creating all the little bits that need to go into the full design. So now it's time to put it up. So for the setup, I decided to use tape. You could choose to use glue if this is something that you want permanently. I did not, because I want to use these leaves for a different project. And because I used tape, I knew that it wouldn't hold. So I started, taping it directly to the wall and then took it down. I found that it was a lot easier and it would create a stronger hold if I applied the leaves to a board and then used that to mount it to the wall. It makes it easy if you already know how you want to set it up. So yeah, so let's do the photo shoot. Well guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. You learned something new. Let me know what your favorite part about this video was. Was it the photo shoot? Was it creating the backdrop? Would you create your own backdrop? And yeah. Also, if you guys know any artists you'd like to see featured here, I'm very interested to do that. I obviously want to get out there and experience different forms of art. I want to bake a cake. I want to, draw some graffiti on the wall legally, yeah. So let me know what type of content you like. Let me know what type of artists I can approach. And that's it. Have a great rest of your day or night whenever you're watching this, and I will see you again in the next one. Bye.